What? Oh. There we go.
Here we go.
Finally, Bottleshare time, people.
Bottleshare.
In a other setup. This is not the setup that we wanted to have.
Yeah.
But COVID is a hooligan.
COVID is a hooligan.
Yeah.
Look, the thing is, it's very simple. That's really a Dutch expression. If you can't do it the way you want, do it the way it can.
That works.
Wise words.
So I just really would like to ask one quick question, though.
I want to ask one.
Wait, Douglas, what were you saying?
Don't think in problems, think in solutions.
Yeah, I said that to my boss once.
This is our solution.
I've got a problem. Yeah, no, I said that to my boss once. I said, boss, I got a problem. And my boss said, we don't do problems here, we do solutions. I said, okay, I have a drinking solution.
See, the weird thing is he also can do a fairly decent Scottish accent. I'm thinking there's a connection there.
Well, hey.
Try.
So yeah, hey, I might do a wee bit of a. I can't think if I can.
See, he can't do it now that he's thinking about it.
No, I'm too scared.
He's just ruined it because he's
too scared now.
Can he do a real Scottish accent anyway?
He's a wee fairy of it now.
You idiot.
I'm the fairies. I've got a quick question to both you guys and the audience. Please, everybody. James and I are on one laptop right now, as you can see. We don't use any microphones or headphones or whatever. If the audio is horrible, if you're hearing echoes, if you're hearing artifacts or whatever, let us know. James will go on his own laptop. I will put on we'll both put on headphones and everything, and we'll make it work like that.
The big gay headphones.
The big gay headphones.
Oh, yeah, this is the Netherlands. Yeah, you guys are even more like liberal than we are. Yeah. Okay. Sorry, guys. That's cultural unawareness.
Yeah, that it is.
Yeah.
James. Since we also have some Dutch viewers, perhaps you can say something in Dutch, like "Goedemiddag allemaal."
Goedemiddag allemaal.
Yes.
Guys.
Yeah, I know what she said.
Good afternoon, everybody.
Good afternoon, people.
Ich hou van een pik, apparently.
Oh my God!
You basically just told me that you love cock.
Just yours.
just mine, of course.
Well, no, sorry, that's not fair. That's not fair to Remy.
No, Remy is much more good looking. Yeah. And we do actually agree that Remy and Douglas are twins.
Oh my God!
But we have to remember this whole COVID. We're angry at Remy because when Remy took away his beard, this is when this whole COVID shit started.
Yeah.
That's right.
The world's still not covered.
Remy, maybe the solution lies in doing the opposite direction. So maybe if you shave your genitals, COVID will disappear.
Who says he hasn't already?
Yeah.
Do we need proof?
No. This is beer tube, people. This is beer tube.
True.
It's Thomas's channel. You guys don't have to worry.
No.
Yeah, that's right.
I'm the one getting bummed over. Which one you guys?
One question. How was your night, James, with Thomas? Did you sleep in one room? Or?
That was the idea, but social distancing.
Yeah.
The Netherlands just changed their laws, so it's not really bum friendly anymore.
It really isn't. No,
it's not bum friendly.
No.
It's typical. It happened the day before I came. It's almost as if they don't want Scottish people to come and cause chaos.
Well, we do like it when Scottish people come.
Yeah. We do like. Yeah.
Okay. Which one of you guys wants to tell our viewing audience what we're doing here?
Perhaps Mr. James?
Yeah.
Okay.
He's our guest now.
All right,
James.
So, guys, we are going to have a little look at a beer from Brouwerij Jopen. So, this one is called the Heavy Cross. It comes in, is it 11%? No, 10%. 10% ABV. And this is a triple IPA that is available in the supermarkets over here. So, Jopen, I believe, are from, which city was it again? Haarlem. Haarlem's not too far away from Amsterdam, is it? Am I remembering right, northwestish of?
It's I think it's 15 kilometers.
Yeah, so it's very. Am I remembering like northwestish of Amsterdam? It's roughly around
Yep,
northwestish.
that's right.
Yeah. So yeah, Haarlem, northwestish of Amsterdam, and this beer, from what I understand, is really widely available in Dutch supermarkets. Yeah.
Yeah,
And,
we've got
so
it all with a bit of help.
Yeah. So for me, when I came to the Netherlands back in 2014, I did some astrochemistry courses at Leiden. Jopen were one of the first Dutch craft breweries that I ever encountered, along with Brouwerij Tea. I'm trying to remember who else that I reviewed back then. If you go into my channel and look at the Dutch playlist I have, you can see all these really old reviews. And I think that was before that was like 2014. I mean, Remy, you're the one that's been going the longest. How long have you been going?
How long Jopen exists, or?
No. How long has your channel been going?
My channel, yeah, it's I'm doing this for about 4 years, 5 years.
So you're like 2016, 2015, no?
Yeah. I was a huge fan of your channel, so and Matt Messerbeer. So I thought maybe I can do the same trick, and 4 years later,
Here we are.
I've got almost 1,000 subscribers. Yes,
it's awesome. Yeah, no, it's cool because I mean I remember at the time for me, one of the things I always used to say about the Dutch beers is it's almost a real shame where you guys are located, because you've got Germany on one side and you've got Belgium on the other, and these are like really well-known beer countries. The Netherlands, not as much, obviously. Everybody knows Heineken and stuff, but
don't touch my Heine.
I shouldn't have. Sorry, that's a swear word on the Dutch Beer Collective. That's a swear word on here, but it's the heathen word. But I mean, I think that is one of the things that the Netherlands suffers from a little bit, is almost location, because the Dutch beers just don't get out there as much as other things, and it's a shame, because I remember being impressed with the quality of stuff back then.
We do make very great beers.
Yeah,
in the Netherlands.
I think in fairness, I think that's a thing across the continent these days. I mean, like, I was really impressed with the Greek beers. Slovenia is doing some really good stuff. That would be awesome, actually. Maybe you guys should chat to Davor and see if he can arrange a box for you guys.
I think Davor can really help us out with that, especially since he's a big Lobig fan. I love Lobig.
Oh yeah.
Did you guys know that Lobig actually cans their cans by hand?
Yeah,
by hand.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, no, that would be the Slovenian beers are great. I mean, the Scandinavian stuff. Yeah, and I hope you guys enjoy your. I'm looking forward to your reviews of the Swedish stuff. I got everything I wanted for you for the first crop, really. except Narangi. I couldn't get Narangi for you because some bastard went into the Systembolaget. I checked in the morning on the website to see that they had Narangi, because I was like, if they don't have it, I'll go to one of the other stores. But then some bastard in the morning went in and bought 20 cans of the stuff.
What?
Yeah, some asshole went in. There was like 22 cans or something on the website, and some asshole went in and bought 20 cans of the stuff.
It's really an asshole.
I was actually raging, because that was the one beer that I wanted to get for you, but I couldn't.
He was foaming around the mouth. He was that angry. But then again, James has been having some issues with foam this weekend anyway.
But then my face turned blue, and my claymore came out at the back of my neck.
The phone problem will all be made clear tomorrow in the premiere.
In the world YouTube premiere.
I'm going to go to some comments.
Davor's watching.
Yeah, window beer review with Thomas says hi. Hey Thomas, Martijn says you. Martijn is a webmaster. Web shop.
Is he related to Ronald and Frank?
Probably. Okay. He's as beautiful. Crappie Specialist says, hi guys. Hey Crappie Specialist. Peter saying, middag allemaal. Hey Peter. Sorry, this one's in English, by the way, Peter. Sorry. Crappie Specialist saying, benieuwd naar de triple IPA. He says that he's curious about this because he's not a big fan. Neither am I, really, generally speaking. So I'm curious as well. Beer porn, definitely. Ty says, beer TIMW. Beer TIMW.
I think it's a QWERTY.
Beer time. I think it's beer time.
Oh, yeah. Davil's saying, hey, Davil, finally a live stream where you can actually hear everything I'm saying. I see you still have the old label. Yeah, they have. So there's the old label. Then they went to the label that's kind of the standard new label. And then they had another new label. So this is the third label in a short time. actually, here's an interesting thing. I hope you guys can see this because my webcam isn't the best. Do you see? Oh, that's actually not bad. Do you see where it says 14I20?
Yep.
That's the bottling date. Mine is 14I20. The 14 is the day. The letter is the month. So in this case, it's the 9th letter, meaning it's September. And 20 is the year. So this one, mine was bottled, and ours, by the way, we got the same batch, of course. Ours was bottled on 14th of September, 2020.
Mine also, Thomas.
And yours, Remy? There's a bit of a glare.
Also.
I can't read it. Also. See, that's good for the comparison.
So it's all the same batch.
Yeah.
Yep.
And Menno is saying, good afternoon, everybody. Hello, Menno. So, yeah, we're here to drink beer. I came here to
James,
come and kick ass.
James, this is the first time you drink this?
This beer, yeah, but it's not my first Jopen.
Okay.
Yeah, it was actually.
Let's open a bottle.
Yeah,
let's do this.
I'll crank mine. Here you go. Here you go. Take it. So our glasses aren't the cleanest ones.
I do all proper glassware, but I have this one now.
Proper glassware.
That's impressive.
That is incredibly orange, guys. That almost looks like that is near barley wine, like barley wine orange. You know what I mean?
Even the head is a bit orange.
Yeah. There's definitely like an orange hue to that, like a caramel, like sort of caramel hue to that head.
It's like a sort of fawny color, isn't it?
I love it. It looks gorgeous.
Great head.
Is this more of a West Coasty triple or is it?
Well, here's the thing. If you look at the back, the EBU.
100.
EBUs.
Oh, okay.
So this is supposed to be quite West Coasty when it comes to that.
Okay.
So I'm very curious where this is going because I don't remember it being that bitter.
Yeah.
14. Craft beer specialist says yes. Craft beer specialist says his is from May. So yours. That's interesting. Craft beer specialist. We're curious what you if you would find more oxidation or age on yours.
Yeah. We need to see. This might be one that I have to get a bottle of to take home and do a sit down with.
Oh, we could that.
Yeah.
Could do that.
Yeah.
Swing by the supermarket tomorrow.
Smells very fruity. Very fruity.
Yeah. See, the first thing that jumps out at me is the caramel.
Definitely.
It's for me. It's got that big sort of biscuity McVitie's Digest. Do you get McVitie's Digestives here? The biscuits.
I think we could. I think they're called Facada here, but basically the dry plain biscuits.
Yeah. It's got a really the booziness you get out of it's really like that for me, like a McVitie's Digestive. So you probably could say like a cookie without the chocolate chips kind of thing. It's kind of like that. Yeah. I need to watch I don't speak too fast as well. Forget that. Yeah.
You also smell something fruity or not?
Well, definitely.
Oh yeah, the fruitiness is there. For me, it's quite. I think there's Simcoe in this.
There has to be.
Yeah.
It's quite piney and bitter.
Yeah.
I think mango. I get some mango. I don't know if you guys.
I think it's like I can see mango. I think this is like quite old school, like maybe Citra Simcoe Mosaic or Citra Simcoe Amarillo, maybe.
Yeah,
I can see that.
Which would and it being so old school would definitely be a clear sign of being Jopen because they like to do new stuff, but they will do it with an old school edge. So they would love to do a New England style IPA, but they'll never do like a lactose New England style IPA with added fruit to it. They wouldn't quickly do that. They keep it
very
real.
clear.
Yeah.
Clear
a beer that this reminds me of, and it would be Opigård's Sweden. You guys are going to get something from Opigård's. Opigård's have a double IPA that's called Turbo Double IPA, and if I can get that for you guys at some stage, then we can do that.
Yeah.
We can do that and get you that because that's the Turbo Stout and the Turbo Double IPA are kind of Swedish classics as well. But this is nice though. Malty wise, I think.
Caramelly, very
caramelly, biscuity.
Yeah, I'm not the biggest fan of triple IPAs, but I think this is clean, very clean beer.
Yeah, it is pretty clean cut.
There's a wee bit of breadiness to it. I think there's like a little touch of a sort of smooth brown bready thing to this.
Yeah,
definitely. Yeah.
As a front, I would say that the nose is promising.
It is.
Yeah.
By the way, sorry. Yeah, go ahead, Remy.
Is this your first time also, Douglas? For this beer?
Sorry?
This beer, is this your first heavy cross?
First time for the heavy cross triple IPA. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
I drank some other IPAs from Jopen, like the Moyenel.
Moyenel. North Sea IPA.
Moyenel, okay.
Moyenel is basically their interpretation of a West Coast IPA.
I love West Coasters. I love West Coasters.
And Thomas, I do get that piney in the back. Of the
I think Columbus is bittering in this. Columbus is probably bittering hopping. I don't think Chinook. It's not resinous enough for Chinook, I think, but it's got that spicy Columbus sort of thing to it.
A hint of spice. By the way, there's oats in this as well. It doesn't speak about
oats, yes. Barley oats, yeast.
It just said barley and oats. It's not talking about malted barley, malted oats. It has to be malted barley, of course. I'm not sure if it's oat. I wouldn't say it's oat flakes because it's not hazy enough to have that flaky oaty. You know what I mean? Wouldn't be surprised if it was malted.
Yeah.
I'm curious, by the way, for everybody. No, go ahead, Douglas.
Yeah.
By the looks of it, my head is still fluffy and it sticks a bit to the glass.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Got nice lacing.
Mine's just got a bit of a ring around it. You need to stop that, man.
Maybe your glass is just a wee bit too dirty, but look at that. See what I mean?
Yeah.
Thomas is as dirty as his glassware.
So I'm very curious as to our viewers, everybody who's drinking it right now. I'm very curious as to your interpretations of this. So please leave some comments in the chat. What do you guys think of Jopen's Heavy Cross so far? I really want to go take a sip, by the way. So
let's sip this sucker.
Cheers, guys.
I wish I was there with you. Cheers.
Wish you guys could be here as well, but we're making the best out of a crappy situation.
Sweet.
Very sweet.
Yeah.
Warming.
Warming.
Yeah. It sure is warming.
That's nice.
It's nice, but again, it's a proof to me that triple IPAs aren't my thing.
Okay.
Yeah,
I like it.
I like it. I can understand where Douglas is coming from. I mean, I do wonder when you go to the higher booziness with the triple IPAs like this, you almost just lose a little bit. The booziness does kind of take over a little bit from the. Whereas I think if you're sitting around the 8% mark, it's a bit more about the balance and things. I mean, I have a feeling. I wonder. I can think of a beer that might change your mind, Douglas, and that would be Stigbergets. There's two: Stigbergets Mistler, and also the Hey Femme from Dry and Bitter in Copenhagen. I don't know if you do see those. I recommend those. I don't know if I could still get them for you because I think they're gone. But if you ever see a Stigbergets Mistler or Hey Femme from Dry and Bitter, I think you're quite likely to get that. I know Dry and Bitter are in the Netherlands. If you see Hey Femme, try that. That's a beautiful triple. Okay. That's one of the best ones I've had. I really would recommend that.
I can say this. This one is still one of the best I drank, but still I'm not a great fan of it. I once drank the Übermensch from Lehe.
Yeah,
and that was a quadruple IPA.
Oh,
no, that wasn't. No.
Lehe from Estonia.
Yeah.
I've got like some kind of peated ale that's like 21% or something from them in my fridge. And they do like these crazy big alcohol beers, Lehe. That's if you go to Tallinn, they've got a shop called Uberjahumal, and you get all these mental Lehe things in there. Like I got some really crazy stuff from there. Lehe are very known for their high alcohol stuff. They're crazily known.
Yeah. And in the meantime,
but they do make.
Go ahead, Dougie.
No, go on, go on.
No, I just wanted to say that maybe I don't know what kind of yeast they're using.
It's not on the label.
But because of that incredible caramel, I'm getting some intense overripe banana thing going. There's something that reminds me of very overripe banana in the nose. Not in the taste, but in the nose.
See, the thing that's coming out for me of this one is I think I can get a bit of you can sort of make out, I think, and it does develop a little bit of an oaty. It's almost even got a little bit of that oaty kind of creamy smooth sort of thing. I can really feel an oaty flavour developing in this one on top of the caramel. I mean, for me, it's got a sort of like brown bready base, like middle third of your palate, back third of your palate, brown bread, thickens up a little bit on the back third, a little bit grainy. And then as you move, you can feel it sort of thin out in as you move into the middle third of your palate. Then so on top of the bread, oily, caramelly, butter candy-ish type thing. And I think the oats are mixing with the caramel. I think the oats are mixing with the brown sugars in this, and that gives you that sort of Werther's original butter candy type thing out of this.
But it does have in the very lost in the back. You feel it is a thick taste, creamy,
bitter,
and still a nice bitterness in the back.
Yeah,
I can see that this needs to be 100 IBUs because it needs to balance out against that heavy caramel sweetness going on.
Is that 100 IBUs?
EBU. Otherwise, it would be ECU if it was the color.
Ah, right.
It says 100 EBU. Sometimes they use EBU instead of IBU, but that is the bitterness, I think.
Yeah.
It's just 100 there.
100.
Ah, yeah. Okay. I've only ever seen IBUs. I've never seen EBUs.
EBUs is something that they use in Dutch beers. I don't know why, really, but...
Do you guys also taste a little bit pine in the back? Together with the bitterness? Or is it just me?
No. I'm definitely getting some pine there.
I think it's a bit more. I think it's more sort of spicy floral than piney, but I can see why you would think that, yeah.
Spicy floral. Herbal.
Spicy floral is better than, I think. Yeah.
Yeah, because I think there's something that tells me that the classic bittering hops, Chinook, Columbus, sometimes Tomahawk, sometimes Zeus, but I think that I don't think this one's got enough grapefruit to be Chinook.
It's not very grapefruity. It's not very citrusy at all. It's not.
Yeah, but because the thing is, you can be sure. I'm almost certain that there's Simcoe as one of the hops in this, and the thing you have to remember with Simcoe is there's a really good series, guys. I don't know how accessible for you guys in the Netherlands OO Brewing is, but they've got an awesome series of beers that they do that's called 50/50, and they sometimes have the 100s as well. So the 100 are single hopped, the 50/50s are like dual hopped. So for example, 100 Idaho 7, 50/50 Nelson Sauvin Idaho 7, dual hopped. But the thing that's really interesting with Simcoe, it depends on where you add the hop in the boil, because if you add Simcoe has a hell of a spiciness to it. If you use that as a bittering hop, it's really spicy. Nelson Sauvin's the same. Nelson Sauvin's a big 16% alpha acid beast. And it's really spicy if you use it early on. And I learned that from the 100 series at OO Brewing, because they only use that hop in the beer.
So the Nelson also gives that grapey thing, or not?
Yeah, you get more of that. I mean, you get the trade-off when you brew the beer. If you add the hop early on, it's more the bittering. But then if you add it in the last half hour of the boil, then that's when you get the more you get the trade-off between bittering qualities and the flavour aroma sort of thing. Going by how this beer, the colour of this, I think this is maybe like a 2-hour boil rather than a 90-minute. The other thing is it could be the type of malts. It might just have a shitload of caramel in it. I don't know.
I have no idea. I'd say...
Yeah. I mean, but I'm certain with a Simcoe, I've said this in quite a few of my reviews recently, is that Simcoes are really interesting because if you put it in New England, it's lovely and soft. It's got a really soft, creamy passion fruity note. If you put it in something like this, it's very oily, and to the point where the passion fruit's almost joined by a little bit of an orangey thing. And if you put it in black IPAs, then it gives you some really crazy red fruity notes. So Simcoe's like one of the most versatile high alpha acid hops, I think.
Okay.
Yeah.
We must ask this at Jopen self. We must ask this to Michel Orderman. There are no hops on the label, so yeah.
Yeah, I tried checking out Untapped if it said anything there, but it didn't. I always find this an interesting beast because, like Douglas, I'm not the biggest fan of triple IPAs. I do enjoy this one. I always notice that there's a lot going on in a beer that's basically only not even €3 in the supermarket. It's actually quite complex. I feel there's a lot going on.
Yeah.
How much would you pay? Is this like $2.75 or something?
It was $2.80.
So 28 kroners for that.
But like I said, Thomas, it still is one of the best triple IPAs I drank.
Yeah.
Oh, definitely, and especially in its price range.
Thomas, you had a triple IPA last week from the Nerd Sense guys.
Yeah, a week or two ago, we reviewed that. A week or two ago, that was Other Half Brewing's triple IPA, Green City All Stars. I'm not gonna lie, that's a league of its own. That's like, you know how they sometimes say it's comparing apples to oranges? Yeah, that's comparing an apple to an apple. It's a class of its own. It's uncomparable. That beer was. Right. See, even now with this, in the back end, in this finish, I'm getting a bit of that ethanol, alcohol, boozy burn. Definitely a bit of a burn. That beer at 11% ABV. It had no burn. It had warming. It was warming down the throat. It was nice. It was pleasant, like a warm barrel-aged stout, for example. There was no ethanol heat, and this definitely has a bit of a heat, which I'm okay with, because when I drink a beer like a lighter colored beer, I'm not going to call this a blonde beer, but I'm not talking about stouts and porters. When I drink a beer that is of the lighter spectrum and it has 10% ABV, I expect there to be a bit of a burn, and that's okay. So I'm expecting it. The fact what surprised all three of us with that Green City All Star, that there was no heat, there was no burn. Right. And that says something about the class of brewing that was going on there. But then again, it's a different price range as well. Even not even talking about the fact that it came to Europe or whatever, even there, that's a different price range because it's brewed with such a different type of ingredients and to achieve the same effect. That came out wrong, but you know what I mean.
We know what you mean. Yeah.
I mean, that's one of the things that always amazes me about these American beers is you go to these breweries, like a lot of these breweries in the middle of nowhere, industrial estates. Folk go in there and drink 2 or 3 of these beers, then they drive home, and you're just like, fucking hell.
Seriously.
It's just like the cars are like go-karts, there's no gear stick. It's like it's insane. Like you're like no wonder that there's so much drink driving over in the States. It's crazy.
Yes, I'm gonna go to some comments, by the way.
Yeah.
So Crafty Specialist says that his was from May 14th. He also asked if it's strange that I smell raisins. No, not in particular, because you're getting I always feel that the triple IPAs, when they get into that higher ABV range, and especially when they up the malt contents, and depending on which malts they use, you can get into sort of that hoppy barley wine territory. There's that overlap that you get between a triple IPA and a hoppy barley wine. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I mean, it depends on the yeast, like different yeasts and different malts and stuff. I mean, it's not just as simple as saying like it's like a saying for Simcoe. Simcoe kind of explains a little bit what you're on about there, I think, because like I was saying, if you put Simcoe in a more caramelly malt base, it starts to show a bit of an orangey character as well as the passion fruit. If you put it in the New England malt base, it's creamy and passion fruity. And if you put it in a black malt base, then that you get all these plummy, raisiny kind of notes out of it. So
that, and also don't forget that we talked about this in a review we just filmed. I'm going to sit a bit like this, so I'm a bit better in frame. We talked about this in a review we just filmed. Frame of reference. And when you taste a caramelly, a sweety note like this, it's quite sweet. And your frame of reference is, this reminds me of raisins. You'll smell and taste raisins. If you've never had raisins, then you're not going to taste or smell raisins.
Yeah. No. I mean, I can see that immediately. It has that, if you pay attention to the tip of your tongue and you just go behind it a little bit, you really can get a little bit of that raisiny sharpness to it. Yeah. And the other thing you get as well, I don't know if I would be tempted to say sultanas. I mean, this is me nitpicking a little bit because, you know, for me, raisins are the dark dried grapes, whereas the sultanas are the multicolored dried grapes.
And for me, in the Netherlands, often tend to call all of those raisins. A lot of people call all of those raisins. Right.
So for me, this is, I can see the sultanas thing. It's like a dry, I can see this dry grapey thing. I mean, you do get a bit of a, I would call it a little bit peary, almost very slightly gooseberry, and then a little bit like sultanas. I think it's kind of mix of things for me. It's like these slightly dry fruits.
There we go.
Yeah, I can see that.
Davon commenting, Jopen Maria Magdalena Black IPA is also very decent. They had different hop versions. The Magdalena Black IPA is definitely one of the better black IPAs that we have in the Netherlands.
Is that accessible? Is that?
Actually, it might have been on sale where we just were this morning. We can check that later.
Yeah, okay.
Craft Specialist saying, in the taste in the back of the mouth, a bit of metal. Maybe because it's an older triple IPA. Could be that it's seeing a little bit of Do you mean metal, or do you mean a sort of a coppery astringency? Like if you were to put a penny in your mouth, like a 5-cent coin, do you mean that?
Did you ever do that? A penny in your mouth?
You do not want to know how big my frame of reference is, and we're not going to talk about things I put in my mouth. Remember, something were to remain unsaid, Remy.
Why do you even ask that question, Remy? Why do you even ask that question? It's Thomas, for God's sake. It's Thomas. He puts everything in his mouth. It's like a little child.
Oh, serious?
Of course I have.
I'm so happy I am in Utrecht right now.
Yeah. No, but I do get that. But getting back to what do you think? Is there a sort of a metal, coppery, astringent note here?
I think I can feel it now, but I think that's the power of suggestion.
It is, isn't it?
It's. I think I wouldn't have noticed that. I wouldn't have said that before, but now that it's been said to me,
I get it. I get what you mean.
Yeah.
It could be that because it depends on how it was stored. See, the problem with this beer is that's why I'm glad that we got a pretty decent fresh one. It's been only sitting on the shelf for 4 weeks. If you have one that's from May, it's been on a shelf in a supermarket. Probably that's what
at room temperature as well.
But also supermarkets here. I don't know if you've noticed, we've got some pretty intense climate control. So the temperatures go up and down a lot, especially during opening hours, where they put on that air conditioning during the summer. So there's a good chance that you'll be, it might be because it's a bit older, it's seen a bit of temperature variations, and then some things can happen. It is a bit of a power of suggestion, I think, because now I sort of think like, is it there? But it wasn't there before. So I'm saying it's probably because it's been out there for a bit.
And don't forget the big fluorescent lights.
Yeah, true. Which is one of the reasons that I'm not the biggest fan of buying beers in supermarkets. They have a great selection these days, but the way that they're stored is often not desirable.
I know what you mean. Yeah. One question for you guys. Since I got mine very late, it wasn't cooled. Did you put yours in the refrigerator or not?
Yeah.
Yeah, we put ours in the fridge for.
We took it out about 20 minutes before we opened it.
Okay.
And I think Remy's has seen shorter.
Shorter, yeah. I've got this about 3 hours ago at the Appie. It was for an hour in the fridge, and it's great. It's not too cold, so yeah, great.
I got mine 10 minutes before we started the stream, so
Right.
It's still the Albert Heijn temperature.
That's the sign of a good alcoholic, getting beer in a hurry.
But I must say, it doesn't taste bad.
No. This is a beer that can take room temperature, I feel. Beardy Review says, hello, Thomas and Jimmy. Hey, Beardy Beer.
Hope he's feeling better as well.
Yeah, and the Beer Geek. EBU is European bitterness units. See, there's international and European. Could there be a difference between international and European?
The Americans use all those weird measurement systems, cups and shit. I don't know.
Yeah, how strong is your coffee? I don't know, about a donkey and a half strong.
Freedom.
Donkey and a half strong.
Freedom.
How big is that airplane? I don't know, about 12 elephants. Coppery is a better reference indeed, Thomas. Well, I sometimes I actually know what I'm talking about.
This guy is Dutch, isn't he? Craft beer
specialist is Dutch, yeah. Bought this beer at a big liquor store this morning. They don't have climate control, so temperature rises. There you go. It could very well be that what you're getting is a bit just, about that temperature thing. And then it's not that you. The thing is, you don't have to keep your beers at a cold temperature. You need to keep your beers at a stable temperature. It's better to keep it at like 15 degrees constantly than have the temperatures go up and down and up and down and up and down and up and down. I was supposed to be nice. Anyway. Yeah, so that could be that. That's it.
We should talk. I think we should talk about the fruity side of this beer. We've not really done that.
Oh yeah, James is really about his side. He loves talking about his side. I think this is about his best side right now. You can really see that toned, athletic figure he has. So
but he has different size. Also a dark side.
Dark side.
Anyway, the fruity side of this potion. Douglas, how are you on the fruity side of this? I know you're quite fruity, but that's not what we're talking about.
At my age? Yeah, I smell some mango, and perhaps I don't know if a short bit of citrus, but perhaps I'm wrong. But that's my guess.
What do you think, Remy?
I said before mango. Yeah, I think mango and some peach. But I cannot. Hoe zeg je dat? Ik kan ze niet uit elkaar halen. Thomas?
If I can help you with translating, just say it in Dutch and I'll translate it.
Ja, mijn Engels is echt waardeloos af en toe. Maar ik kan soms niet kiezen tussen persik of mango. Voor mij is dat een beetje hetzelfde.
Persik mango. He's saying like the peach mango thing. That's kind of the same. In a way it is. In a way there's subtle differences. I always feel that there's a bit of a sharpness to mango, depending on how ripe it is. But that's maybe me. While peach usually has that sort of steady sweetness. Mango can go. That's why I always feel mango works great with a little bit of chili over it. That's a good thing.
Så man kan säga att det är alltid lite konstigt för att jag kan förstå mycket nederländska för att det finns några liknande jämföra med svenska. So I can actually, it's weird, guys, when I listen to Dutch because I can hear, I figured something. We say persisk in Swedish as well. I find it really strange to listen to Dutch these days because I obviously have a bit of background in German and the Swedish, and then Dutch sounds like a kind of mash of English, Swedish, and German together, but with a Danish accent.
No, but literally, that's what it is. That's what Dutch is.
Yeah, but there are some Dutch football Danish football players. Danish people can learn Dutch very, very fast. Those languages are almost the same. Swedish. I watch some Swedish series on Netflix, and sometimes I do think some kind of Dutch words. Slecht.
Yeah, I mean, it's as I said to me, I listen to some of these and I look at some of the words around here, and it's very I see it. Just look at the stuff, and I honestly think if I moved to the Netherlands,
we get married.
No, we would, yeah.
Please. Move to the Netherlands.
Yeah, I would. I mean, I was walking around Leiden the other day, and I was honestly like, you know what? If I got offered a doctoral position here, I would be like, yeah, I could do this.
If you think Leiden is great, then you think Utrecht is. Oh,
Utrecht is Kramme Haring. You'd love the Kramme Haring.
Oh yeah, no, I think because for me, if I came, I very honestly in 2014, I very nearly went to Leiden University to do physics. But the thing was, I think at the time, the main difference was that I was a poor student and the Netherlands wanted €2,000 per year to study, whereas in Sweden it was they didn't want anything. So and then Lund, the Swedish system did seem a little bit more flexible than the Dutch system did at the time. So that was the main reason I went to Sweden. So
all right.
Yeah, that was it. That was the main reason why I didn't end up in the Netherlands as opposed to Sweden.
And you didn't know me back then.
Oh yeah, that too. Yeah,
the love wasn't there yet.
Love wasn't there yet. Exactly.
I agree with Remy on two things. The stone fruity thing in the beer, and he is right. Utrecht is a great city, but not as good as Arnhem.
No, that's right.
I've been to Arnhem.
I think that's taking it a bridge too far.
A bridge too far.
Yeah, amazing. Thomas is a comedian.
Thomas, you know, I mean, when I was younger, we came to the Netherlands, and we went to Nijmegen, we went to Arnhem,
and
we did Den Haag, we did Leiden. That was when I first encountered Leiden. So that was later when I learned, Leiden's like the oldest astronomy school in the world. That was pretty cool for me. It's the same when I went to Heidelberg in Germany. You know, it's things. I go to places and then I learn about them later. It's crazy.
James, I once went to Heidelberg. It's so the city is amazing. A clean city. I really like that one. I also visited the university there.
Was it studying or?
No. Just for visiting. As a, how do you say that? As a tourist.
Right. Okay. Yeah, 'cause I was in Heidelberg like early 2014. So it was like basically when I was in when I was just finishing up, when I was in my third year of university, I said, "Oh, you did well. Do you want a free master's degree?" Sure, why not? And then they sent us off to different places in Europe, and I was like, "I'd love to go to Heidelberg." And then I managed to sort out a thing with a research group, went there, did it, and then after that, I was like, you know what? I really like living on the continent because for me, it was really unusual that you could, you know, for example, I could drive 2 hours and I would be in the Netherlands. I could drive an hour and be over in Belgium, Luxembourg, France. You know, for me that was a real novelty, and it was just that it was really, I found that I very much liked being around a different language, and it's my brain's messed up, but I like being around a different language because you feel like you're learning something all the time. So. Sure. For me, I find that very stimulating to be around a different language. So I think that was for me. That's what I liked. But yeah, Heidelberg was awesome. I probably would have gone back. I think first choice, I would have gone back to Heidelberg if my German had been good enough, because Germany's a big country. They do expect you to speak German. Yeah. Netherlands is a bit smaller, so you can kind of get away with it here. And Sweden it's 10 million, but still a small country. They don't expect you to learn Swedish as much, but I think, if you go to a country, you have to learn the language.
I agree. If you're going there for a long time. Yeah. You don't have to learn the language if you're there for a 2-week holiday, but
yeah.
But you're from Scotland. Are you going back to Scotland?
I don't have plans to, but we need to see, because obviously we've got there's a little guy now, and Sweden I think is the best place to raise a family, and my Swedish citizenship will come through very soon, and I think long term we would like to stay in Sweden, but honestly there has been a bit of a temptation to go home because of the political situation. I think that's going to be I always feel like I want to be part of that, to be part of the push to build the republic. You know, I think that's
James is going to be the second Robert the Bruce. He's going to fight for the independence.
No, I mean, I think that's there is a temptation there to because it is I don't know, it's a sort of weird sort of thing with Scottish culture. You feel a little bit like, I don't want to go too much into the politics, obviously, but one of the things, it was quite disheartening in 24. That was one of the reasons I left Scotland, was because I really felt that the older generation didn't trust us to take the country forward. They didn't trust the younger generation to take the country forward. And that was one of the big things that pushed me to look at the Netherlands, Germany, Sweden.
We're not doing that much better. Trust me.
Yeah.
And but I mean, it feels a lot more now that it's on the cusp. It feels like there's a lot there, and it's a shame that it takes something like COVID to really waken people up to the potential of the country. But I think history shows that when you're governed locally, it goes a lot better than when you're governed as part of a multi-nation state and things. I think that's it. But as I say, we don't want to get too much into the politics of it. But I think there's exciting times for Scotland ahead, and I think it's an
exciting place to be.
Yeah, I think my sort of caution going ahead, we'll see what happens with the EU, but I think we'll see. I think at the least, I think Scotland wants to be as Norway is to the European Union, and I think that's the debate. I think that's the only real debate in Scotland. That for me, that's the main debate with Scotland going forwards. Do we do what Norway does, which is freedom of movement and all of this, which we want? I don't think there's any debate about that. Or do we become a full member? For me, that's the debate, and I think a lot of the other stuff will kind of just fall into place. I think in an independent Scotland, the monarchy will be gone. I don't think there's much doubt about that. Yeah, I don't think there's much doubt about that.
Robert. That's okay.
Oh yeah.
If there's a reincarnation of Robert, we'll be cool.
The Bruce, yeah. We'll find we'll take his DNA and we'll clone him and do all that sort of thing.
I'm going to go to some comments because I saw a great comment dropped.
Sorry guys, I went on a big ramble.
Oh, it's lovely, mate. We got time. It's a great comment because this is what you and I were talking about during the review we just filmed. And Matt from Massive Beers actually dropped a few great comments about that. So it's about the storage thing. I think it's both ends of the spectrum. Beer should be taken care of course, but a lot of breweries take shortcuts and practices that make beer so fragile that they drop. We talked about that there's a lot of brewers who make beers that are great in those first 3 to 4 weeks, and after that they sort of bomb.
Plummet, yeah.
Then they drop off and they sort of, because I know Matt's take on this, he's mentioned this before, so that's why a lot of these breweries are going like, yeah, well, you need to drink our beers fresh because an IPA is only great when it's fresh, and if you don't, it's not our fault, it's your fault for leaving it out there for 3 months. I've had amazing IPAs at 5 months, and I've had crappy IPAs at 2 months. It's all about that how you do you brew. So at any exposure to higher temperatures and are not shelf stable, or even refrigerate and explode if not refrigerated all the time. Yeah, like the exploding beers. I actually talked to Matt. I need to quickly adjust the cable here. Great. I asked Matt and the other American guys about this because it was about an American brewed beer, about whether or not it could go pop. If it wasn't stored properly. It was a fruited sour. And you've been hearing some stories about fruited sours these days, right? About how the cans explode if they're not kept refrigerated. Yeah. But the great breweries make shelf-stable beer, even hazies. So while beer should be cared for by the retailers, breweries should do better also. And I think that's a great point because it's very easy to say. It's very easy to say that, we brew something, but we don't take any responsibility for our product. Anything that goes wrong is either the retailer's fault or the person who bought it. And that's an easy shortcut.
Well, this is one of the things, and there's an interesting point I can make about this. When I was in Korea, right? Korea, and it's weird, Japan's probably not as bad as Korea was in that sense. But one of the things in South Korea, hardly any of the breweries canned and bottled their beers on any considerable scale. And in Korea, the breweries told me, and it was a shop on Jeju Island. There's a really good beer shop in Seogwipu, probably pronouncing that wrong, but there's a really good beer shop just right next to a random beach in Jeju. A girl called Josie owns it. Very nice, speaks very good English, and she was telling me that in Korea there's no that for a long time. I think it's changed just now. She told me recently that it had changed. There is no cold chain. They call it the cold chain. And for them, and a lot of breweries would not bottle and can their beers because there wasn't cold chain. There wasn't a cold chain infrastructure there. So there was so many breweries that were just brew pubs. And a lot of it was because a lot of them didn't have the confidence that if they canned their beers, they would reach Seoul or Busan or whatever in good condition. So, I mean, if you check my South Korean beer review playlist, I reviewed them all in South Korea because I was told, do these as quick as you can. And quite a few of them.
What the fuck has got a South Korean playlist?
But I mean, out of a few of these things, it's. But Hong Kong was different. Hong Kong had all the cans and all the bottles. It's weird. Like in some ways, you can get that. And I mean, I don't know. You would assume that the Netherlands has a good cold chain infrastructure. I mean, that I would just assume that. I would really just assume that. But you never know because it's an expensive. These breweries are all small, medium-sized enterprises. You don't know what the costs of these things are. So that is probably a
There is a Dutch brewery called Uiltje. Uiltje delivers cold beer, and they what they have said to the hoe zeg je dat, slijterijen?
The retailers, the retailers.
They have they said to those guys, here you have a refrigerator. Our beers are coming in as cold as it gets, and then they go in the fridge, so you can buy them at the best quality. I think that's very good.
That's already a brewery taking their responsibility. As long as weird things don't happen, that's a brewery who takes great responsibility. Douglas.
I think it's probably a fair statement to say the breweries have to be insistent with the. It's a bit of a catch-22 for them to say, no, you have to treat the beer like this. Then the retailers were like, well, fuck you, we're not doing it. And then some of the retailers might just be like that. You're lucky that we are your customer because we are a big supermarket chain, blah, blah, blah. And it's a bit of a catch-22. It's a difficult position for breweries because, it's what do they do if the supermarket says, yeah, we're not going to do that. And for the breweries, it's like, yeah, this is a major income for us, but they're not giving our product the best chance. It's a difficult thing for a brewery, I would say.
True.
I'm going to go to a few comments. Ty says, I will try this beer, the Jopen Church. Oh yeah, they have an old church where Jopen has their group of. I'm curious how that would be, because hopefully that means, Thijs, that you can actually get it very well conditioned, very well taken care of by the brewery itself, in proper temperatures and everything. So that would be curious how that would be. Take it from an amateur linguist, says Martijn. Swedish and Dutch sounds alike because they're common ancestry of Old English and Frisian. Grammar is quite different. It's harder to learn Dutch as a Scandinavian. Guys, good afternoon. Just got home from visiting my mother. Have you finished tasting the beer yet? Well, it's almost gone, but we're still talking. That's what we do.
Still talking about it.
Join in, Waldo. Martijn, also the Dutch Earl Collective will be a nice international name. The Earl
Collective.
I think Douglas and I actually said that at the same time.
It's true.
Douglas.
Me.
Oh my god.
Scooter. If you take Tipa's malt profile into consideration, quality of malts can provide a metal note, and also equipment and yeast issues qualities. Jesus, this guy just knows everything about beer.
Davor is a ridiculous man. Well, I love this guy, but he is a ridiculous man.
Every now and then, you're like, he's the Rain Man of the beer.
He is. He honestly is. He sits and makes like circuit boards and shit for a living. And it's
have you ever seen his descriptions on Untapped?
Yeah,
they're like they are like your beer reviews, James.
No, let me tell you a story about Davor, right? I told Davor. My cousin and I were looking at going on holiday back in 2017, right? And I can't remember how Davor got wind of this, but I said to him, "Oh, we're looking at either going to Vienna or to Munich," and he was like, "Oh, just tell me when you're going to go." And then so we decided on Munich because we got a good deal for Munich, and I thought, right, let's go and have a look at some of the Munich breweries. And then I said to Davor, right, I'm going to Munich, and then he's like, "Oh, I'm coming to meet you." He just decided like within about 2 hours he was driving to Munich. So drove up, dropped his girlfriend off, and just appeared. We had a bit of a bother finding him. I can't remember what area of Munich we were in, but we had a bit of bother trying to find Davor. And I think at that point I didn't know what he actually looked like fully. Because obviously he was the one recognizing me.
Yeah, famous YouTuber.
Yeah, but the funny, and he turned up with two.
Do those exist?
I don't know. But the thing, we had a nice time with Davor. We went and ate a schnitzel. I think we went to the Augustiner beer garden, which was really nice. And we had a schnitzel, we had some Dunkel and all of this. And then later we went to one of the Eyinger places. And Davor just sat there, and I don't know if it was just his photo albums or his Instagram, but honestly, he sat there, flicked through them, and he could tell you like the whole, like my tasting notes on the videos. He was able to tell you this level of detail about every beer, just flicking through the photos, and you're just sitting there like, Jesus, Davor, come on! Yeah. he remembers everything about. Yeah, he remembers everything about every beer he has.
Chocolate notes, yeah.
Yeah, Davor remembers. Davor is ridiculous like that.
Sorry, Davor, I love you, mate.
You guys are harassing me to make videos on my new channel right now, but Davor also need to start his own channel.
I've been trying to peer pressure Davor for ages. Davor, I think Davor could be the best Belgian beer reviewer. I think that.
Belgian breweries.
Davor would be like the ideal man for the Belgian beer breweries, but he's
can he handle that ABV?
The question is, can Davor handle an AVB of 109.5? I'm not sure about that.
Oh.
I know he's Slavic, but even that's a test even for the Slavs, I guess.
There's only one great city in the Netherlands, that's Groningen.
Oh my God, here we go again.
Keep an eye out on James's channel because we actually reviewed a beer with a nice ABV from Groningen. We actually reviewed one together, and it's going to go on his channel, so keep an eye out on
It's going to go out on one of the next couple of Sundays, I think. Or possibly a Wednesday. I need to see how much collaboration ship we film.
So keep an eye out for Rampant Lion reviews.
Yeah.
My girlfriend studied in Edinburgh, visited Scotland a lot of the time. Can't wait to go back after the whole COVID situation. It's probably a better country. It's going to. I hope it's going to have a chance to become a better country after the Brexit.
We'll see. I do. Yeah, we'll see. I wonder. I would like a change of First Minister. There's another woman who I think would be a very good First Minister, former QC, Joanna Cherry. I would love to see her become the First Minister because First Minister we have just now, she's fine, but I think Joanna Cherry would be the choice for me. QC, she knows her shit legally.
I don't know, man. I'm thinking James for president.
Yeah, James for president.
Yeah. I actually, when I was at university, I was thrown out of the SNP because I told them that religion was dangerous, but that's just me.
There you go.
So yeah, that was fun. Yeah.
So we went from politics to religion to alcohol. We've covered all the bases of human psychology, haven't we?
Yeah.
Let's see. Did you give the beer a grade? No, we
No.
haven't.
No.
We haven't.
I know James
Good thing,
doesn't actually
Waldo.
grade, but if you were to, let's just do it the way you would say. What would you say? If not with a grade, but what would you say?
It reminds me a lot of Turbo Double IPA from Opigords. So it's it is a nice triple this, and it's it's a big oily triple IPA, West Coast IPA, I would say. Yeah, and if you like an old school beer, that's what I would say. This one. This is a really nice old school, big oily West Coast IPA in my mind. If you like the other one we can compare this to would be Torpedo, Sierra Nevada Torpedo. I think if you like these kind of beers, that's what you would compare it to. I would rate this highly. I don't like giving beers like 9 and 10 and all of this, because you could have something next week that blows this out of the water. I think this is. Yeah, I mean, this is. I can if we go on the Untapped scale, I could see this being rated. Well, Untapped. I don't like Untapped's a bit weird like that. Actually, I would say this beer. It's like a solid. It's like a solid rate beer 90. I would say it's about a solid rate beer 90 for me.
Awesome, Dougie.
Mm-hmm.
Although the style is not my favorite, but I try to rate it in style, so I rate it like a 3.75 out of 5.
Yeah.
Cool.
That's
I can find myself there.
It's not bad.
You, Remy?
I rate always from 0 to 10. This is 7.5. 7.5. I think it's on Untapped 3.75. Yeah, it's a great triple IPA.
I can agree that. I would think, rate beer like an 85 to 90. I can see that like a 3.7, because it's very hard to get above 4 on Untapped, isn't it? It's very hard to get above that 4 mark. So I think, 3. Between 3.75 to like 3.9 or something.
I'm at that same level of the 3.75. There's a part of me that wants to give this a 4 on the Untapped scale, but there's a few things in it. So maybe it's because that was the power of suggestion, but that sort of coppery astringency thing that goes on when you have a penny in your mouth, that just slightly too sweet, overly caramelly. So I don't know if you guys ever ate a little bit too much fresh pineapple, but you get a sort of sharpness in your mouth when you eat too much fresh pineapple, which is a acidic quality to it.
Yeah.
So that acidic, let's call it a caramel pineapple acidity, where everything just gets a bit too intense and the balance is gone. If that could be fixed in some few batches with a few tweaks to the recipe, this could be a 4. Until then, I'm going to have to leave it at a 3.75.
I think on the fruit, one of the things I like to do with the fruity thing is that I think I split the palate into sort of 3/3. So front third for me is always your oily fruits or juicy fruits, whatever. Middle third is your kind of softer part of the malt base, and the back third is your thicker but sometimes more grainy part of the malt base. So for me, fruity side of this. So like at the back of that front third, I think that's where you've got the slightly more pungent passion fruit, and it's quite an oily passion fruit of that. And as you move further forward, that evolves to be a bit more mango-like, and it stays like that for quite a while. But then you start to get that pineapple-y thing on. The pineapple, I think, sits on top of the mango, and then on the front third, on the front part of the palate, almost like the front sixth of the tongue, the front half of that, there's a wee bit of that more oily, orangey sort of thing. The lightness of the orange there makes me want to say Mosaic in this one rather than Amarillo, because Amarillo, I think, would be considerably more oily than this. But there's also part of me wants to say there's maybe a bit of Centennial in this, because around the front edge of the tongue, I think it does have a real bit of zestiness to it for me. That could be Citra, because Citra can have that lemony sort of thing. It could be that, but there's something about this sort of level of zestiness there that makes me want to say there's Centennial in this as well.
Yeah.
You see how there's quite a few similarities to the beer we reviewed a little bit earlier. There's quite a few similarities, and it's completely different beer style.
Yeah.
But still so many similarities, because a lot of things that you and I were saying about that beer apply to this as well, except this is so much more bitter. So much more sharper.
Yeah.
but still all that oily texture, that orangey, tangerine thing, and that level of
But I mean, I think this is one of the things. It's one of these arguments. It's like, do we have a sort of almost placebo when it comes to trying these things? It's this argument: do we have a bit of a placebo, or are brewers brewing things? Is it like are brewers brewing things that they know people will like? So is it that people like a little bit of this oily orange? They like a little bit of the tropically note and a bit of an almost citrusy, lemony, zesty kind of thing? Or is it that this is, maybe we don't have as quite a complex palate as we think we do? I don't know.
Which is why it's one of those interesting things where I mentioned, I used to always say, I wish brewers would put lots more information on the label, like which hops, which yeast, which malts. And at some point, I really think that that's a good point. On the other hand, if all of that is on the label, before you read it, before you taste it, you're like, oh, it has that, and that hop, those malts, that yeast. I should be tasting. And then you're already filling in blanks and expecting things. And when you expect things, you're going to find them.
I think in my reviews, I'm probably a bit guilty of that. I think
me too. I have that as well. When I see Simcoe, I start thinking of that, that resiny, piney thing going on. A little bit of a mosaic, I get that earthy, sharp, spicy note. So when I see those things, I'm going to fill in those blanks. Sometimes it's great that a beer like this doesn't have any info and you just go for it. And you're like, what am I finding? Instead of what does the brewery expect that I find?
I can see that, yeah.
A little question to you guys. Do you separate tropical fruit from stone fruit, or do you think they are almost the same?
I think stone fruit really is tropical fruit. It's a kind of tropical fruit for me.
Yeah, I agree.
Yeah.
How about you, Remy? What do you do?
I always say a tropical fruit, stone fruit. I don't use stone fruits. Thomas, you are using stone fruit.
I do
in your reviews.
That's mostly to separate it from non-stone fruit and tropical fruit that don't have a big pith in it. But I do consider them the sort of same genre of that yellowy, orangey colored, fleshy, thick, ripe, sweet, stick. Oh God, I'm getting hungry. Like, you know what I always say? I'm always reminded of a quote from the movie Face Off. Right now I'm thinking of peach. I could eat a peach for hours.
Yeah.
You guys think about that for a little bit.
No, I
peach in the beer.
I already know. Every week,
like clamshells.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, I love seafood. So anyway, Douglas, do you separate tropical fruit and stone fruit?
Sometimes. When I really do taste pineapple, then I will pronounce it as tropical fruit. But when I say smell or taste, like mango, then I will pronounce it as stone fruit, for example.
Cool.
Cool.
All right.
Nice.
So let's go. Sorry, Remy?
No.
I just wanted to say.
Nothing more to say.
Nothing more to say, mate. My Titan's asking, will there be a Thomas Cook stream today? No, because I'm just going to throw some shit in the oven and we're going to manger.
Oh my God. Right. I miss Thomas's food. His food from last year. Thomas is a great cook. He doesn't. He's amazing in a lot of things.
One of the things I'm going to, when you guys make it to the Netherlands, once I sort out my new apartment and stuff, I'm going to take you guys to try Swedish kebab pizza, honey.
Ooh,
please. Okay.
You guys make it to the Netherlands.
Is that a promise?
I mean, Sweden, not the Netherlands.
Is that a promise?
Yeah, I'll take you for
after COVID, I promise you, if I have some money, I will buy a ticket to Sweden, and then we go Yeah.
Well, the other thing is, it's not too expensive. It's actually not very expensive. I think that the flight taxis in Copenhagen are quite small. So I mean,
Dude, I got a way better suggestion. When COVID is over, I'm gonna buy one of those late 1980s, early 1990s
VWs,
Volvo tanks.
Ooh.
Station wagons.
Yeah, some
And the
diesel.
two of you are going to drive up to Groningen here to Winschoten. We're going
Road
to
trip,
load
baby.
with our clothing and loads of beer. I'm saying road trip, motherfuckers.
Road trip it is.
Road trip.
Woohoo! Yeah.
I mean, there's plenty of space there for 4 people. Gerben, if you're watching, if you're seeing this, there's plenty of space for 4 people and a lot of beer.
Yeah.
We can split the gas bill. It's going to be cheaper. We got this shit. Road trip.
That's amazing.
I want to try Borif as well. I want to come down.
Yeah.
But James,
I'm glad that Martijn didn't make a typo, because if the second O was a C,
I only got one of those. I don't have multiples. Or do I?
Oh my god! But James,
sorry,
you had it. You said Copenhagen, but Copenhagen is Danish, right? So we fly.
I live very close. Like I live in Lund, and you get the train from Copenhagen Airport. It's like 40 minutes.
Okay.
So we got this.
Yeah,
we got this.
Which says Tina's for NL. Yeah, we do. We got this. Griffith saying mine ended up a 4 out of 5 at Untapped. That's a nice rating, especially considering there's a little bit of age on that one. That's a good rating, man. But maybe age is better. I still want to get a few. I've got a Lagunitas IPA here that's, I think, at least a year old. Okay. I always find it interesting to try beers like that after a certain age, just to see what happens, you know?
Because they almost have, at that point, I think it have a little bit of that oniony type flavor.
I think I remember a review from Joe from beer.
Joe Senaglia.
I think he did a heady topper that was 2 years old. That should be interesting, shit like that.
Yeah. All right.
Check that out.
Let me use Flixbus, cheap and recently fast.
Those green buses, yeah. Flixbus.
Yeah, I'm actually, because of this whole COVID shit, I'm having to go Flixbus to Hamburg, overnight in Hamburg, and then home instead of going to Belgium.
Serious?
Yeah.
Are you still going to Belgium, James?
I heard that everything's closed, so I think instead of going to Brussels, which was the plan, I'm just going to mail the beers to Chris and go to Hamburg and go home.
There's an interesting thing here we're going to look up. Fun fact: Copenhagen used to be Swedish. Okay.
Serious?
I'm gonna have to Google that.
No, I think it's the other way. I think Skåne, the county that I used to live in, plus Blekinge, which is next to us, that used to be Danish.
Okay, we're gonna Google this and get back to it.
I don't think you can go to Lund with Flixbus, because I was looking at that.
Yeah, Martijn, this is a serious question. Either find James on Facebook, and you can find James in my Facebook friend list and send him a direct message, or send it through me, because we, as in I was here, but James just spent like a decent hour looking all of this up, and there was no option from Groningen to Lund for that price.
Yeah, it was one. If I went to Groningen, if I put
yeah. Okay. Never mind. Yeah, that's what we found.
Yeah, because if you went from Groningen to Copenhagen, it wouldn't give you a ticket. But if you went it was trying to take me via Berlin. I'm like, why the fuck would I go to Berlin? Why would I go to Berlin to go back around? No,
that's what.
Oh dear, you've been watching too much Top Gear, man.
Mm-hmm. I'm a little bit
too much Jeremy.
Sometimes I'm a little bit Jeremy, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm just grateful nobody heard me. You guys didn't hear me, right?
No.
Good.
This book using it. There's an app. Yeah, I've got the app on my phone. I booked it online.
Oh, because I saw you on the flicking laptop.
No, because I've got Flix app on.
You know what this is? You know what's talking right here, right now?
Not my Gaelic.
No, the ABV.
ABV. Yeah.
Remy, Remy,
Yeah.
are we the only normal people here?
Yeah, of course.
No.
Okay, thank you.
Probably, yeah.
This
So
was
I have
amazing.
to ask you this. I have to ask you this, Douglas. Where does Douglas is obviously a very Scottish name, the Black Douglas,
True.
which
Yeah.
is what
Black Douglas.
my little guy is named after.
I know.
Where did your parents come after? Where did your parents find this name or decide on this name?
The Dutch cosmetic store.
To be honest,
They were drunk.
no, they weren't drunk.
Well, that's what
my
I said. It's a Dutch cosmetic store. That's where they found the name.
My parents have real Dutch names. My mom's name is Ans. My father passed away a few months ago, but his name was Wilhelm. And my mother searched for names in a Zwitsal book. Zwitsal, do you know that brand? Oh, it's a brand, yellow colored, especially products for babies. And they had a baby book name, and my parents wanted to give me a non-Dutch name. That's why they found Douglas. And my brother's name is Clyde. The Clyde is also the Clyde is also a river in Scotland. My name means dark water, so there's a connection. And my sister's name is Soraya. That's a Persian name. So, yeah, my parents typically wanted to give their children a non-Dutch name. That's the reason.
Yeah. No,
that was my reason also.
There are no. Sorry.
Yeah. No, it doesn't. My children are called Keith and Jake. I don't want Dutch names also. For English names, Scottish names, American names. So, yeah, Douglas is a great name. He's my twin brother. So yeah.
Yeah.
And that's why
we brothers from another mother.
My name is from a book, another book, not a Zwitsal book, but a story book from Remy Alleen op de Wereld, Remy Alone at This World. They thought Remy was a good name. Yeah.
See, I always associate Remy with being French. Have you seen this guy on
French,
YouTube, Remy Gaillard? Have you seen him?
Yeah. Remy Gaillard. It's all those jokes and some. Yeah.
I love Remy.
It's a French name. It is French.
Yeah, no. Whenever I see Remy, I always think of him, Remy Gaillard.
Gaillard, yeah.
It's that guy.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Awesome.
I always think of him. Yeah, but no, like we chose Douglas because it was the bit in that movie Outlaw King where he's like Douglas, and it was that's what got me onto it. And then I went and read about this guy, the Black Douglas, and it was just quite funny that we did this and.
Oh my God!
Oh my God! It's Thomas again. You crazy lad.
Oh, I need to trim my nose hairs.
Thomas, please tell us when you will do some James hair. How do you say that?
A man bun.
Soon.
Soon I will get some.
It's an interesting thing. I've had a serial disliker recently who is obviously a fan of a certain member of the Arsenal firm. And he thought it was insulting to call me man bun. And I also had another one who thought it was insulting to call me haggis, but Hagus, haggis, like more like Latin than Scottish. So it's quite funny. I've been getting a few trolls recently. I think they're from over the Atlantic.
If you want to be a hater, do it properly.
Yeah, that's the thing. If you want to be a hater, use good grammar, use decent. I have to admit, I think this is one of the things. I think the Scottish and the Irish, we're probably the best with insults in the world. I think we're not the best at a lot of things, but I think when it comes to throwing insults and stuff and patter, I think we are the best in the world for that. I think that's a fair statement.
Right.
Yeah.
Guys, we're out of comments.
Yeah.
We're out of beer. We're an hour and 20 minutes in. I'd say it's time to sort of fuck off and do better things in our lives than.
Yeah, I have to eat.
And sometimes, yeah, so do we.
You look hungry too, Thomas.
I'm hungry for you. I'm hungry
in
for
a
you.
different way. In a different way.
Yeah, I'm hungry for you. You know that, right?
Yeah, I'm hungry for love. Yes.
Oh, Douglas,
baby.
Douglas, will you be joining us?
I will be joining you guys together tonight at 9 p.m. Central European time.
James will send you the link.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, because
have fun, you guys.
We might do that. We might use your. Maybe I can log into StreamYard on your one because it
doesn't work like that. You need login codes.
And
you have a better webcam, I think.
We'll figure it out. Yeah, we'll figure it out because if possible, then it means we can get 5 others in on the.
What do you mean? Okay. So can you?
Yeah.
No, that's not. No, actually, literally meant yours. No, you can actually. That's you can have a total of 6 people. So you can do that.
Yeah.
You got it.
We can figure it out.
One last question, you guys. No special beer planned for tonight?
We're going to do the idea was to do that Le Trap quadruple and the Zunder 10. I couldn't find the Zunder 10. So I got a Chimay Blue. So basically, let's just leave it as some nice, hefty Belgian quads.
With 109.5% ABV.
ABV.
Thomas.
Jopen film as well.
Yeah. Cool.
Thomas, you've got a special beer from me. But did you ever heard of this?
Oak aged. Wait, wait, just 1 second, Remy.
There we go. Oh, I've
okay.
That's an easy door.
Easy door. Nice one.
It was a limited release a few years ago. I think 6-7 years ago. This is the oak aged version of the Isidore. It was one star. I've tasted this one. It was rubbish. So yeah, this was not good. But it's still a nice bottle. But the bottle you get, please share it with James.
We will,
because it's fucking good.
We're not going to do that one tonight. We think that's a bit of a pity. We're going to do that one. We're going to review that one tomorrow, so we can really focus on it.
We should do it with a fresh palate,
yeah, stuff like that. We just really want to have a good. But tonight, let's just leave it at. Let's just have fun. If people who are watching right now at 9 p.m. on James's channel, Rampant Lion Reviews, we're going to do another live stream. The idea is sort of like quadruples, Belgian strong ales, but also mostly just to have some fun and talk about beers and be ridiculous.
Yeah, I was quite hopeful we would get the Zunder because we have to get some Twappist beers.
Twappist, but we didn't get a Twap.
We couldn't find the Zunder, which unfortunately. So
Twappist from a Dutch brewery.
Wait. Real Dutch brewery.
No, you have to say Volwin brewery.
I love the fact that Davos said that's an awesome idea. I wish I knew what my idea was because I kind of forgot. Took me so many places I forgot. How much beer I had? This is confidential. Yeah.
No. It's confidential.
His name is an R in it, Brouw.
Actually, he does brew beer. I have some of his homebrews.
Then he needs to legally change his name because that's just it just feels like it's unfinished.
But he actually does brew beer. Yeah. I have his homebrews.
But I think he needs to just change his name because it just feels like it's unfinished.
Wilfred, you need to legally change your name to Brouw.
Yeah.
You need to stay on.
We definitely would. We see you, Thijs. Last night I had one year. Oh my god, he's still pretty solid. Cans. This is true. Cans are better. First is hello, guys. Hello, Fleur.
Hi, Fleur Dolphy.
Hello.
I'm stealing your man for tonight.
Sorry, Fleur. Touch me. You're not supposed to touch me.
Oh no, nearly we are. Sorry.
Oh my, what? Oh, BeerTube is gonna.
BeerTube's
gonna go fucking.
Sorry, honey. Will not happen again. 9 p.m. later tonight. Hopefully, Fleur can join us and watching then. That would be fun.
We'll make her very jealous so that you get so that you have fun with her when she make up with you.
That's not how this works. So okay. Anyway, yeah.
Guys, it was an honor to have a review with you. With James. You two guys, I already knew, but James, he is one of my favorite beer tubers. I'm sorry, Thomas. I'm sorry, Dougie. But
you can't say sorry to Dougie because he hasn't even reviewed anything yet, asshole.
Well, what we need to do, I think, is Thomas has said that I should be an honorary member of the Dutch Beer Collective. So we need to maybe organise something that I don't know. These beers that you guys are going to get. I don't know how you. Maybe we can do a collaboration with one or two of these and
like a live stream or something.
Yeah,
we could do that.
Oh,
sounds good. Yeah, sounds good.
And then we can. Because, well, I mean, this is the other thing. I can arrange more because I think, as I said, it's very cheap for me to travel down to the Netherlands. It's not difficult. We'll figure out something. We need to try and do some more collaboration reviews together because I'm sure we'll be able to find some German beers or something that we can all get quite easily.
True.
Yeah.
Some Weihenstephan and some stuff like that.
Can we get fucking pished on some Caribbean and Vitas? That would be a lot better than 109.5% ABV Duvel.
Devil in Belgium.
Thomas, I don't want to make you jealous, but tonight I'm opening my Corbinian.
I hate you. Die.
Now, I will open a quad also.
Get lost.
Get to the chopper. Do it, Remy.
Get to the chopper. Fully child. Get down. Yes, I have to go.
Yeah, that is so good, isn't it? This guy's like a literal. It's beautiful.
Yeah.
Get to the chopper.
We told him he needs to get a beer from Austria. Beer that.
Steve Weiss should be quite easy to get.
Yes,
Get to the chopper.
You have to get an Austrian beer and do the entire review like Arnold.
Yeah.
It's beer.
This beer from
Maybe
Arnold.
I will.
Maybe I am
like, what? Do it again. Do it again, Remy.
Maybe I will get
Maybe I will.
Maybe I will. Get down, boys. Get down. Get to the chopper. Fully child. Give me your clothes.
When he takes a sip and it's very good, he goes, ah!
Hello.
This beer is way too sharp.
I have to pee, guys. I have to pee. No.
Oh, that's the best way to end this entire video. Guys, I love you guys so much.
Stop.
This was great. I'm happy we were able to do this.
Yeah, I miss you guys. It's a nightmare to not be in Groningen. Groningen is a great place with great friends. Enjoy your evening.
You too.
I'm gonna sip some beers.
That's going to be awesome. Great. It's going to be fantastic. We love you. And thank you for that oak aged. We're going to get a beautiful review from that. Douglas, we will see you in about 3.5 hours.
See you guys tonight.
It's going to be awesome, buddy. Looking forward to it. Everybody, thank you so much for watching, and we'll see everybody later.